To better explain how Catanot's FMC system works, let's take a look at how forest products supply chain compliance is typically verified today. Supply chain compliance is most often verified through chain of custody certification programs. Chain of custody certification is a process in which independent auditors sample a statistically significant portion of a company's overall fiber sourcing operations, from forest harvests and forest management to timber procurement, and compare the record keeping of those operations to the standard requirements for certification. However, because of the large scale and remoteness of forest operations, this verification is primarily limited to a record-keeping review with a few inspections of the individual harvest areas. Although the auditor creates a statistically significant sampling plan for harvest inspections, audits are accomplished at the least cost possible, so there is not enough time for the auditor to actually visit most of the harvest operations associated with the company being audited. Usually only 10% at most of a company's actual harvests are inspected during a chain of custody certification audit. That means 90% of all the forest harvests associated with a certified company are never seen, much less inspected. Which is why every year we see FSC or PEFC certified companies involved in some sort of scandal related to forest harvesting activity. Lacey Act violations, abuse of Indigenous peoples, illegal logging, you name it. Consequently, there is little doubt that the chain of custody certification is not enough to even ensure regulatory compliance, much less demonstrate social accountability. Also, neat fact, chain of custody certification does not on its own meet the Lacey Act due care requirement. There's a reason. Although the need for more comprehensive verification of forest management compliance is clear, the means to achieve it are, for the most part, somewhat unrealistic. I've spent most of my life in the forest products industry, and I well remember the first time I learned that the forest certification is just the starting point. And I also remember how frustrating it was to go looking for answers about how to verify compliance and being told I needed to hire 37 auditors for $100,000 a month or donate to a research project version 5 because the Super Drone listening camera was only one more revision away from actually working. Everyone I talked to clearly didn't get it. I wasn't asking for theory or to finally make some group of auditors rich. I wanted something simple that worked and that didn't cost more than the problem I was trying to solve. I never did find anything worthwhile. So, when I signed on with Catanot, I decided to simply build what I needed. And that's what we now call the FMC system. The FMC system is a simple, cost-effective, easy-to-use solution. The primary component is an off-the-shelf satellite GPS units to keep costs down, modified to withstand the rigors of the logging industry, magnetically mounted so you wouldn't have to worry about installing it or any kind of hookup, and has an always-on 2-year battery life so that you don't have to worry about setting it up. The GPS units capture harvesting equipment location and send it back to our servers, which we invested heavily in, buying GPS information on pretty much everything we could think of that might be important in the forest products industry, the entire CITES database, all the environmental laws of over 50 timber-producing companies, Landsat imagery, conservation areas, habitat ranges, everything. So once the GPS information gets back to these mega servers, we use a proprietary GIS program that combines all the information from our database with the harvest unit location to essentially tell you anything you want to know about the conditions around the harvester. Granted, most anyone can sell you a product to track the location of harvesting equipment, but no one can sell it as cheap, and no one can combine it with all the data and proprietary software we have to make it so incredibly useful in managing compliance. A good example is one of our demo units in the field today. For a little over $200 and $36 a month, we have a unit mounted on an excavator in the ASEAN area that continuously provides forest clearing location data, which we combine with the GIS information in our databases to generate reports that answer questions like how much volume is left in the concession area, or what kind of tree species did they harvest today, or have they impacted the local elephant habitat yet? The FMC system is the only product available that answers these kind of compliance questions at this kind of price point. Everything about the FMC system is easy. The price is easy, the buying and implementation is easy, no consultations, contracts, you can buy it off our website and mail it to your supplier. It's that easy. Its installation is easy. There isn't any. It's battery operated and magnetically mounted. There's literally nothing anyone has to do but buy it, ship it, and stick it on whatever is cutting down the tree. But not only is it easy, it's comprehensive. Really and truly, I don't know of any other solution that was built by a forest products industry veteran for the forest products industry and can measure nearly every aspect of a forest harvest. You name it, we can measure it. Compliance is important, and certification just isn't enough for anyone. The FMC system is the only viable next step beyond certification to ensure your forest product supply chain is compliant. If you have any ideas, questions, or comments, please don't hesitate to contact us. Cheers!